So the conditions are clear. Continue in faith, continue believing and teaching the doctrine of Jesus and the apostle. Correct doctrine is important because it preserves your relationship with Christ. And we don't have to, we were just talking about that at the beginning in terms of wrong doctrine and correct doctrine, but the correct doctrine is important. And it says to continue in the hope, continue in your assurance, your confidence, your expectation of what the gospel promises you forgiveness, resurrection, eternal life. You have to continue in that. You have to know, I have to be confident that this is what I am going to get. So this is a warning to them that if they abandon the teachings of Jesus and the apostles, they will eventually lose the blessings that come with these teachings, right? So this is why we have to be careful about doctrine, right? So in the last part of verse 23, Paul creates another bridge that will help him segue from talking about the credentials of Christ, which permit him to be the head of the church through the death on the cross and the resurrection, to Paul's credentials for being a minister or teacher of the gospel. So he's now going to bridge, he's now going to move from talking about Christ and his headship, his authority in the church, to talk about him, Paul now being the apostle and a minister. So the word minister is that bridge. He's now going to move from that point that he was speaking about, using the word minister, to now jump to him. He establishes why Jesus is preeminent. Now he will establish why he, Paul, is credible as a preacher, why he has credibility in his preaching also. Jesus' message as a minister of the gospel to the church. So Paul is not going to say here what? I am a minister of Jesus' message of the gospel to the church, and he's now going to explain that going down. But I just want us to look back at the criterias. So in order to get all of what we just spoke about, all the questions before, we have to continue in faith and know that continuing that hope, that reward that we have. So we have to have that confidence and that continue in faith and the doctrine. So there's a definite article there when it speak about the doctrine there. So it says the doctrine. Let's go back. Let me just show you. Right, the faith. Right. So this is not just like faith in Jesus Christ. This is the faith in terms that was the doctrine. What do we believe as Christians? That body of teaching, right? So as opposed to what the false teachers was teaching them at that point in time. So he's trying to bring to the remembrance this is what you have learned. This is what the prophets would have told you. This is what um I would have taught. This is what is being taught. This is what the gospel is about. And you remember this as opposed to what you're hearing. So I'm just going to present Christ as opposed to anything else. So sometimes you don't need to know how to battle or defend. Whereas it could be good. This doctrine and this doctrine. I'm just going to just know what you need to know. Christ and everything else that doesn't sound like that, false doctrine, right? So he's showing them that and showing them how perfect it is, right?